step ladder bowling. We start with former U.S. Open champ Danielle McEwan taking on Liz Johnson in her 25 career titles. The winner takes on third-seeded Diana Zavyalova, a two-time Queens champ. The two-seed 2021 Player of the Year, Yana Cote, and the top seed Clara Guerrero of Colombia, who has won 7 world championships for her country and goes for a second career major tonight. The oil pattern, what kind of scoring do you expect tonight?
Well, Dave, honestly, I expect some low-scoring matches. 180s, 190s would be a great score for a win. The women, we bowled on 41 feet, medium to upper volume. We bowled also on 2 different oils, fire in the front and oil and ice in the back. Now, the teal going forward is our forward oil going down the lane. The dark blue is the reverse oil, but notice the big factor here. We call that a little bit speed increase or a speed bump down the lane, where the ball is not going to go faster, but it's going to hydroplane more in that ice oil that wants to make it go even longer down the lane. Became very tricky for the women to do that, but all the women on the show stayed very close to the right part of the lane in the gutter area itself. Very straightforward ball roll down the lane, and that's what kept them controlling the pocket all competition.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Niagara Falls, New York, Liz Johnson.
Time to bowl in Rochester. And what a first match we've got. Johnson, McEwan head-to-head. Hall of Fame legend against a future Hall of Famer. Not far from her hometown, about an hour or so west. Legend Liz starts her night. Not quite there in the 1-3 pocket like she hoped.
4-pin actually wiggled a little bit. The hardest combination that the women faced this week is when the ball was light and it was too light in the pocket, there were 2-4-8, 2-4-8-10 combinations or 2-4-10 splits along the way. When it was high, it could be a devastating big 4 split, even something through the face like the 3-4-6-7-10 for all the right-handed bowlers. It was a lot of artwork this week, Dave.
Two, 4-8. Covers nicely. Sigh of relief for the legend.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Stony Point, New York, Danielle McEwan.
7-time titleist, Stony Point, downstate, not too far from West Point in the Mid-Hudson Valley, beautiful part of New York. Danielle has a U.S. Open championship. Liz has 6. Which one of these big stars advances up the step ladder? Let's find out here. Late 7-pin, down it goes for a strike for Danielle.
This week, Danielle takes 5 steps. She actually has a very, very short slide. Look, from here to here, it's only about 2.5 feet, but she loads up from the top of the swing. Her left arm is out to the side, and her eye is eagle focus towards her target. Great physical game, one of the best out here on tour.
First crack of the left lane. Uses some power there, going for that 1-3 pocket. Ends up with a tough split. We'll see how she handles the 4-6-10.
It was dead on line to the same type of target and up the lane, just on the right lane itself, about the 7-8 board. You could see the ball looks really, really good here, and then the motion at the end is just so sharp that it forces the ball to go through the pins at a bad angle, leading the split conversion.
6-10, yes. 4-pin, no. So an open frame early for the 5th seed. 2019 U.S. Women's Open champ. Double in the 10th to beat Tanya Ramanpur 201-199. Title match in North Las Vegas that year. Dave Kelly and CDB. I'm surrounded by bowling royalty again. Kelly, it's awesome. Speaking of Hall of Fame legends, back to Liz. That looked a lot better. Right out of her hand, right lane. Crunches the 1-3 pocket, all 10 down.
Yeah, notice her little approach. She sometimes has a hiccup step or 4-step, but she's so far ahead of the second row. It dots right up here, and then she starts her little approach. Now, I've watched Liz bowl for many, many years, competed alongside of her, and her steps are somewhat different than what they used to be. They're not as large, but it what works for her right now.
For the double early 22-pin lead here. Does just that. Almost the 7-10 unmakeable dreaded split. Instead, it's all 10 down eventually and up 22 here early.
Yeah, so she started with a different ball in frame number 1, went to another ball on frame number 2, and she stuck with that ball in frame number 3. So sliding about 11-12. She's also about that 7-8 zone. Liz's angles are very small, likes to keep the ball in front of her. She's very great at playing anywhere from 12 to the gutter. She's almost unbeatable.
McEwan responds, crossing over. Almost a Brooklyn strike, left a 10-pin there. Making adjustments early in our first match.
Now it's different. Again, it's 41 feet of oil and, what do we say, about 28 mils? That's a little bit high, so I would think along the way that somewhere you want to have some surface. But what the gentlemen did, our tour reps, is they used a lot of texture underneath. That one just slightly inward in front of her. You can see the light boards here are 9, 10, and 11, just somewhat inside of that, and I'm talking a fraction, causes the ball to go cross for the Brooklyn strike almost. Makes a 10-pin, no worries.
That's
2
the most
out of 3
important thing.
clean
Cannot
frames.
afford another open frame. I guess Liz Johnson, that would be an absolute disaster. Danielle did make the Cleveland Open show on Bowl TV as a 3-seed loss to Lindsay Boomershine, who won the SBC Queens this year in Vegas.
Yeah, and Danielle, I believe, shot in the 240s or 250s, and Lindsay, I think, shot 268. So when you only miss twice and you miss 3 times, unfortunately, it doesn't go your way.
Left lane, McEwan. 4-pin late, touch high, strike the bottom line.
Yeah, and that motion to me is just a little too sharp. We call that hockey stick reaction, where the stick is nice and long, and then all of a sudden it's that left angle to give it its shape. That's a little sharp, but Danielle can allow her roll to be more end over end and control that front to back part of the lane.
Back on national TV for the first time, if you can believe this, since 2019 for Liz. The Hall of Famer, 6'10". Our first U.S. Open of 6 Cal back in 1996, and you know, having won this event 3 times, how hard it is to make the show and then to win it. Incredibly challenging.
Oh, exhausting. I can honestly, knowing that I competed this week and made the top 24.
Congrats, by the way. Great run.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. You never got comfortable. You had a good game, and then you went to the next pair, and they were challenging and more difficult, and you fought the frustration and tried to stay very level-headed throughout the entire competition.
And of her U.S. Open titles and of all the championships, the U.S. Opens really stand out to her as being so special.
And I think 2 of those 6 I finished second to Liz, so that was a good run for me, too.
Little high, pays the price.
Right now, it just looks like the left lane is hooking a little bit more in the back portion of the lane. Now, the oil has a factor. We have fire in the front, which wants to slow the ball down. We have ice in the back that wants to make it pick up speed. We have those extra 2-to-2 loads going across at the 30 to 34 foot marker, which makes the ball, you want to hydroplane even more. Then we have something called topography a little bit, where it's just not entirely flat surface, and it will make the ball do different things.
6, 7, 10. Almost completes the feat. Across the deck, 7-pin stands, though, so the open frame matches McEwan's and changes the match, nearing the midway point. Great effort.
It really was a tennis match, back and forth. Double here, open frame. Strike, spare, open frame. I compared it to par, bogey, double bogey, birdie. Bogey, birdie. It just kept going back and forth.
Volatile. McEwan. Response. Timber, down goes the 7-pin late. Danielle told us last night, as Liz did with regards to the U.S. Open, that nothing is more special. McEwan now in the lead.
Yeah, again, she's sliding in that 11-12 zone 2, right around the 8-9 board. Very, very little movement from left to right, maybe a 1 board angle total. I mean, Danielle is a shot maker. She repeats over and over again. Let's see if she makes a slight adjustment on this left lane where she tripped the 4-pin the last time she was up.
Plenty of U.S. Open TV experience, as we saw. Six frame, 14-pin lead on the line. Converts, finds the 1-3 pocket perfectly there, and widens the gap after Liz's open frame. First, let's settle a score here in match 1. Liz Johnson down 14 pins to the 6th, coming off an open. The legend,
It's got to push.
It does. Crunches the 1-3 pocket kill.
Yeah, and you can see Liz is a little bit slightly right to left. I mean, her game, she can go up the lane, but more often enough, because of the pattern itself, she's chosen to freeze the ball. I want to say freeze it on line. So you're going to see sliding 13, 8 there. It's already hooking at 9, 10, so it's going on this inward motion already towards the head pin. That's the big key for her right now. It also allows her arm swing just to follow through towards her target. There's no friction to the right, so there's no recovery. The ladies have to play hold, and she's doing just that.
Big shot, trying to cut it to 4. Looking for help on the 10-pin across the deck, but the messenger does not make contact. And that hurts. So great to talk to Liz again before TV show. It had been a while. She listed all of her U.S. Open titles. And had a certain memory attached to each. Pretty cool stuff. First one in '96, most recent in Dallas in 2017.
The proprietor kept steering people that way to the apparel booth. It was wonderful.
McEwan. Bringing 10-pin, good shot, no break.
Excellent shot right there. That one was up the lane, slightly outside, not much. I mean, I'm talking, a board is 1 inch 16 wide. Professional athletes can miss 1 to the right and 1 to the left, inside just slightly, so that's 3 inches. Notice we've been hovering around these boards here. This is just slightly outside of that, but because of her ball roll, the ball quickly and sharply turned towards that 1-3 pocket.
Well, non-strike keeps things interesting. 10-pin, no problem there for McEwan. She told us last night she's known Liz so long, been on TV many times head-to-head with Liz Johnson. She's going to bowl the pins, not the legend. Going to take out the fact in your mind, right, Kelly, when you're facing someone so great?
Everybody who got to the show tonight did so on their own skill and ability and working through the mental frustration and being resilient to be here. Liz is obviously one of the best of all times. Danielle is following in her footsteps with her career and what she's achieved in a short period of time. She's been close to Player of the Year a couple times in a row. She's just bowling the pins, what she's been taught to do.
Help there, 10-pin late. As she said to us last night, he knew from being a top 15 finisher this week at the U.S. Open, you just got to grind it out. It is just an absolute battle of your will against the lanes with such a challenging format.
It was. It really was. And it's not over yet. We still have a long way to go for the telecast.
That's right. Right lane for Liz. Big shot, 7-pin late.
10 majors.
Amazing,
10
25
majors.
titles. And she said every moment, these major championships mean so much. She's going to keep going at 49 years old. Plenty left in the tank, she told us last night. Good example of that. Another strike for Liz to keep things very interesting. Her foundation frame strike makes it a 3-pin difference.
And both ladies from the New York area. Obviously, Liz about 90 minutes away. Danielle about 5 hours away. Hometown favorite. You know, she's got a lot of fans rooting for her. Her families couldn't be here, but they're definitely attached to the telecast and the screen, watching on and rooting her, as well as Danielle's family coming up from Stony Point to be here to watch her bowl as well.
4 or 5 close matches. Danielle facing another one here. Strikes, big shot. Up 13 pins through 9.
Both athletes so focused. Again, just on the hovering on that 7 board for the breakpoint area. You know, 41 feet, you think there's 19 feet left. You see a lot of break in the bowling ball, but no. Bowling ball is nice and shiny. Her ball roll is more end over end, controlling the front to back. Both ladies playing their A game right now.
Tenth frame. Great shot, but a 10-pin stands. Strike 9 for 225, leading into the 10th for her. She fails to strike to keep things very close.
A little bit more angle now, a little bit more left to right. You can see the ball just sharply break in the back a little bit. 6-pin says, hi 10-pin, I'm gonna go for a ride right around you. It was a great spare to leave, though, because it was a makeable spare all week long.
Coming off the ring, 10 pin. Cross lane. Got that. Stay in the driver's seat.
216 max score for Danielle. She's 12 pins ahead, but that would be her max score. But Liz can go around her.
Just heard from Diana Zavjalova of Latvia, going for a third major of her career. She is next as the third seed here in Rochester. Didn't like it off her hand, that's why.
Changes it up for Liz right now. 212 for Danielle McEwan. Liz needs the first hit for sure. First strike, 9 spare wins it.
So now it's up to the legend.
Yep.
Fourth seed here. Been here so many times with 6 U.S. Opens. Strike 9 spare to advance. Can the legend do it again? Right lane? No. 10 pin. And McEwan on the bench will advance.
Wow, this was a close match for both ladies. Really came down to this 10th frame. Watch Liz makes an excellent shot. Just a little bit firmer. A touch firm, and the 6-pin falls in front, leaving the 10-pin stand. She may not win her 7th U.S. Open title tonight, but I'm sure we're going to see her again in the future.
Danielle McEwan knocks off legend Liz Johnson. Diana Zavjalova is next for Danielle.